Momentum, defined as force or speed of movement. Impetus, as of a physical object or a course of events.
Mullen. I call.
Main event momentum. It's ever shifting. From hand to hand. Player to player. Day to day. And day 7 has been no exception. Just ask those who have watched the chip lead come and go. Just ask the players who 1 minute hit their card.
That's just ridiculous.
And the next minute hit the rail.
Good luck, guys.
Now just 40 players remain. Pros, first-timers, amateurs, bracelet winners, all hoping momentum will carry them to day 8.
I'm going home.
And perhaps on to the final table. Welcome once again to the main event of the 2010 World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. With Norman Chad, I'm Lon McCarran. We are set to rejoin the action here on day 7. Just 40 players remain, and tonight we'll play down to 27.
And it's poker. Everything can happen.
The surprising chip leader is still Soy Win, whose count is almost 19 million. Over at table 2 is Italy's Filippo Candio and another European, Norway's Johnny Lawton, as well as the 2 youngest players in the field, Michael Wyrot and Keel Sipkins. While over at the feature table sit a few players who have garnered attention during this main event, most notably 50K champ Michael Mizrachi.
A one-time chip leader here at the main event. He is, of course, the grinder. Matt Affleck, another one-time leader here. You're making me and your mother proud. And there is Johnny Lawton's good friend, William Thorson, chip leader earlier here on day 7.
Let's take a look at the 5 biggest stacks. Kuhn, a.k.a. Soy Win, heads the pack. Second place, Joseph Chung with 14 million. The 5 shortest stacks include one of the youngest remaining, Michael Wyrot, the oldest, Hassan Habib, and the tallest, German pro hoopster, Michael Skinder. There is 48-year-old Hassan Habib, one of 5 bracelet winners left in this main event field. Another one is sitting right here. Of course, Michael won the first event of this 2010 World Series.
Mike, say your first bracelet?
Yeah. This would be my second. It'd be pretty cool, right?
Mike, does either of your brothers have one?
Rob has a PLO championship. I came third in that.
10K PLO.
Yeah, I came third the next year.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Grinders made 3 final tables this year, and he would tie Frank Casella for Player of the Year if he wins the main event.
Action on John Racer, no bracelet, but did win a World Series circuit event on the Jack Link's Beef Jerky pocket cam. He looks down at Jack 5 and lays it down. Over to Habib now. 10 of diamonds, Jack of spades.
I saw Hassan showing his 04 Ferrari F360 Spider on Card Player TV. He said, I wish I could live in it.
He raises to 230. Thorson folds, as does Corey Emery, over to the grinder. On the button with Jack 5 of clubs.
Hassan says driving to Las Vegas, he once hit 160 miles per hour for a split second.
Of course, we don't recommend that.
I usually take the bus.
Folded to Dewey Lay in the big blind, ace 8.
Lay does not have a Ferrari, but he's got the better hand.
He calls for 130,000 more. The flop 9-5-7. Lay with a gut shot to the 9. Habib with a gut shot to the jack.
Lay with the Matador check.
Over to Habib now.
Hassan says he loves listening to hip-hop in his Ferrari. I would have put him on smooth jazz.
He'll take the free turn card. Turn card is an 8, and Habib fills his straight. That also gave Lay second pair. Lay spreads out 230,000.
I guess that's a Matador bet.
Habib just with the call.
160 miles per hour in his Ferrari, but Hassan driving very slowly here.
Habib now with the check mark going to the river. 4 of diamonds. Lay slows down a little bit. He does check it.
The Matador check again.
All in.
Vroom, vroom.
That is all in for 660,000 from Hassan Habib.
This would be for 13% of Dewey Lay's stack.
Lay looking at the board. What does Hassan have?
Oh, okay. Diamonds.
Not diamonds, but he's on the right track.
And he folds. Habib will pick up a few more chips.
The king. Huh?
He had a straight.
He had king, queen of diamonds.
He had a straight.
They knew he had a straight. Hassan's still not in the fast lane. He doesn't have that many chips. He also fist pumps when he doesn't get a speeding ticket.
Nice hand, Hassan. I hope you bluff to be nicer.
Hassan's still under $2 million, but as we know, anything can happen in the main event, and that's what makes this a one-of-a-kind experience. Norman, what a magnificent main event this has already been. We've seen the second largest field in poker history, witnessed 4 brothers cash in the same year, and watched Johnny Chan's run for another title come up painfully short. And though we are nearly done with day 7, there is still a lot of drama yet to unfold.
If you had told me at the start of this main event that 2 good friends would still be among the final 40, I would have said that's far-fetched. If you had told me that Matt Affleck would make a deep run for the 2nd straight year, I would have said you're crazy. And if you had told me that Michael Mizrachi would still be in the running for Player of the Year, I would have laughed in your face. Well, the joke's on me, but hey, what else is new?
Buck up, partner. The unpredictable nature of the main event, just one reason why it is so much fun to watch. Let's go out into the field to find a player who has been fun to watch. Michael Skinder. Right now, Skinder is just a 6'8" bystander and a hand between Jason Sentai and Edward Oshana. Oshana checked the turn on a board of 4-5 Queen Tray.
Sentai, the 28-year-old Minneapolis pro.
He's putting some chips together, $735,000.
Oshana, 36 years old, a pro from Chicago.
And he makes the call. So these two will see a river card. 7 of spades. Oshana first to act. He checks again. Sentai bets again, this time almost $1.3 million.
Oshana, known as Fast Eddie, will take a moment to think about it.
Call.
Straight.
Sentai says he's got a straight. He shows A6 for a rivered straight.
It's been a good table change.
I'm running well.
Sentai bet every step of the way and then got there. That's running well.
Oshana not running well, lost a lot of chips today, but look at this. Sentai started today under $1 million, now with almost $9 million. Over now to Ben Stotts, who is all in versus Gabe Costner. Stotts pocket jacks leading the ace-king of Costner as we're going to the flop.
I'm using my one time right now. One time. I'm using it. I know you're using it. Now's the time.
Ben's girlfriend, Katie Lederer, nearby.
Aren't you supposed to use your one time when you're behind? I mean, would you call it a tooth fairy if you hadn't lost a tooth?
After the flop, Stotts' jacks are still best. Another 9, Stotts with jacks up now.
This is Stotts' one time, no ace or king, and he survives.
The river card is an 8, and Stotts dodges all trouble and scores a nice double up to $8.7 million.
Well, Stotts has used up his one-time line. I'm marking it. It's like wasting a replay challenge on a 4-yard play.
A lucky day 7 for Ben Stotts so far. Back over to the imposing figure of Michael Skinder. He's in the hand this time, all in against John Dolan. Skinder's kings ahead of Dolan's ace-10.
Do you see Skinder using his one-time here? No. He's a smart man.
All right, here's the flop. It is King Jack 8. Broadway draw for Dolan, but Skinder hits a set.
What are you thinking? 8.
Got it.
8 Jack King.
Turn card is a 5. No help to Dolan.
I had a bad feeling before the hand. I don't know. Give me an ace.
Only a queen knocks out Skinder.
River card's a 7. Skinder with the set doubles up.
Oh, back in business, guys.
And he's got a one-time in his hip pocket.
From a short stack to the tallest stack, chip leader Soy Wen is watching as Brandon Steven has a chance to knock off 2 players. Steven with ace-king of diamonds leading Jacob Tustasen's ace-jack off, but Jonathan Driscoll leads with pocket kings.
Tustasen, a Danish pro. Driscoll, the Canadian apple farmer.
And the flop. Oh, diamonds! Steven flops the nut flush.
And Steven now on the verge of the double knockout.
Driscoll feeling the icy grip of elimination, as does Tustasen. Turn card is another queen. Driscoll looking for some help. Tustasen drawing dead and eliminated.
Celebrated early.
Driscoll said the same thing to Steven earlier and then hit a flush on the river. Now he needs a king or a queen or he's gone.
The river card is a 5, and Steven knocks out 2 opponents with his flush. Driscoll gone in 39th place. And Tusasen eliminated in 40th. Each win over $206,000.
They forgot to use their one time.
So much early celebration, huh?
You should glow more after you win, dude. You should glow more after you win.
Testy goodbye exchange.
Brandon Steven dispatches a pair of opponents, and this main event field is now down to just 38 players.
We play for big pots, small stakes, and the chance to say, read 'em and weep. For the weekends, the all-nighters, and the lunch hour. We play for the legends and for the unknowns who dream of winning it all. For the bad beats. In the Pocket Kings, we sometimes have the sense to fold. We play at FullTiltPoker.com.
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Back inside the Rio in the 2010 main event here at the feature table where the Grinder, the last of the four Mizrachi brothers that cashed at the main event, still sits. And of course, he's got the support of his wife Lily and brother Robert and other friends all showing their support. Joining the table now is Theo Jorgensen. He began the day as the chip leader, but gave up almost all his chips when he doubled up Soy Wen.
You got the best table in the house.
Here. This is the best table in the house.
Yeah. Most exciting.
I find Matt Affleck to be exciting.
Ace deuce for Matt Affleck.
To me, Affleck is a cross between Evel Knievel and Wile E. Coyote.
Affleck from under the gun raises to $250.
And $9 million to the winner? That is exciting.
Theo says this table's not so exciting. He folds. David Baker now with Pocket Kings. That's exciting.
Baker finished third this year in a World Series no-limit event that had 3,000 entrants, so he knows how to navigate a large field.
He's going to repop it to $875. William Thorson, the Swedish pro, with King Jack of Diamonds.
All right.
He announces raise.
2.2 million.
Wow, he loves to put the pressure on. $2.2 million.
Thorson is a gambling man. If I could be William Thorson line for just half a day, the damage I could do.
All right, so now the big re-raise back to Affleck.
Can't do anything stupid now, at least.
He folds his ace deuce.
I'm all in.
Baker re-raise is all in for over $4 million.
Feel free to let it go.
Give me 90 seconds.
Take as long as you need.
I don't think Thorson needs to think too long.
I will never call the clock on you.
He knows Baker's not going to be pushing that many chips in without a big hand.
Thorson gives up the hand and gives up the chips to David Baker.
Now, Thorson took a hit there, but at least he cut his losses.
Baker $5 million to the good for the day, while Thorson is down to just $6.3 million. This is a game of making moves at the right time. Done at the wrong time, it can be expensive. To the outer tables once again as the field of 38, maybe 37 if Joseph Chung's hand holds up on the river. His kings have Nicholas Babel's 10s in trouble.
Babel, 36-year-old French pro, has to have a 10.
It is a 9 on the river, and kings up for Chung will knock off Nicholas Babel in 38th place.
And the 24-year-old pro from San Diego is working his hoodie towards a bigger payday.
Babel with a nice payday of over $206,000. Chung now creeping up on the chip leader Soy Wen. He's approaching $19 million. Over to Pascal Lefrancois, a French-Canadian who just put out a bet on the turn against Eduardo Paris. Paris calls the $730,000.
You know, Lon, it's cold in here, but it's not Arctic cold. Lose the hoodies.
All right, to the river card. 5 of hearts. Paris first to act, he checks. Lefrancois with over $1.8 million. Paris folds, top 2 pair face up. Lefrancois takes that pot.
Lefrancois friends with fellow Quebecer Jonathan Duhamel, both like the hoodie look.
Back to Ben Stotts and a hand with Bren Kenny. Action to Kenny after a flop of Queen Trade Deuce, 2 clubs.
This is Kenny's 4th cash at this World Series.
The New York Poker Pro with a bet of $640,000. Stotts will stick with him. Turn card is an 8 of clubs, 3rd club on board.
Kenny actually has 7 lifetime cashes here, all top 50 finishes.
And he is reaching for chips. Kenny, that's $1,060,000.
All in.
Ben Stotts now raises Kenny all in.
That stops Kenny in his tracks.
Does Stotts have it? Kenny thinks so. He lays it down.
The New York amateur gets the better of the New York pro.
Boy, Bren Kenny now left with just over $3 million. Stotts up over $11 million. That's good for 4th place for Ben, who first began playing poker to get out of chores, but the game has since changed his life in more ways than one.
My dad and I used to go fishing at this cottage, and we used to play poker to see who would do the dishes. And I hate doing dishes, so pretty quickly I learned how to beat him. And then I just sort of got into it. And then eventually I started playing a lot online, and that's where I met Annie Duke. She was one of my opponents, and we just started chatting. We realized we had a friend in common, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you know, if you want lessons, you know, you should let me know." And I said, "Okay, I would love lessons." So she coached me for a while. It's pretty cool. When I was moving to New York, she said, "Oh yeah, let me introduce you to my sister." We all went out to dinner, and Katie and I became pretty good friends. And then about 6 months ago, I guess, we started dating. But it's great to have Katie around because she is so used to seeing, you know, high-stakes poker. Annie's been a great coach throughout, and Howard and Susie have been good hosts. I think I'm a little in shock. Every day this tournament, I wake up and I'm like, wow, I'm still here. I hope that I make the final table, and if I do, I really hope that my family and friends and all the letterers will come out and support me. I think they will.
Stock just got his master's in finance from NYU. If you're dating a letterer, you've got to be really smart. And Katie's a wonderful writer. Her memoir of growing up in a family of gamblers, Poker Face, is a great read.
Looking at our tournament update with the elimination of Doug Palovich, we're down to just 36 players. Now back to table 2. Johnny Loudon watching as young Michael Wyrod is willing to risk being finisher number 36. He shoved pre-flop with ace tray off. Action to fellow potential record breaker Mikhail Sipkins.
Yeah, the two youngest players here.
Wyrod raised to 1.8 million. Sipkins has ace king.
That call. No.
Norman, I'd venture to say Wyrod didn't want to call.
Well, the two players who could still eclipse Joe Cotta's record as youngest main event champ ever, lock horns.
3-3-3 on flop, no sweat.
Big ace trying to take out the small ace. All right, here's the flop. Jack 7-6. Wyrod gets no help.
I don't want to go out like this.
Take it like a man, son.
Turn card now. Wyrod looking for help. 8 of spades. Sipkins is still ahead.
Wyrod has to have a 3 or his main event is over.
The river card is a 9, and Sipkins wins the hand. Wyrod gone.
Boy, that looks like a giraffe and a zebra trying to hug.
Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck.
There we go. That's a little better technique.
Filippo Candio giving a congratulations to Wyrod. Sipkins now over 8 million chips, good for 9th place, while Michael Wyrod heads home. His quest to make poker history has come to an end.
Hello, beautiful. Oh, yeah.
No one to play with. So play online at partypoker.com. It's fun, it's easy, it's the world's largest poker room.
You folded?
Back at the Rio, where we have just lost another player, Gabe Costner was eliminated in 35th place by Brent Kenny. Costner had doubled up Ben Stotts. He pushed all in with 10s. Kenny paired his ace and knocked out Costner. Kenny up to almost 6 million chips now. Let's get back to Jason Sentai. He's in good shape to knock out Edward Oshana. Sentai paired his king, and he's ahead.
Oshana needs a runner miracle to stick around.
Turn card is an ace, and that will do it. Ace is up for Sentai. Finishes off Oshana in 34th place.
Sentai put the big hurt on Oshana earlier with that rivered straight. Sentai running good. Or as he says, running well.
This guy is unstoppable here on day 7. Back over to table 2. Italy's Filippo Candio bet $315,000 on the turn with 10s and 4s. With trip 4s, Patrick Skander raised to 940. Action on Brandon Stephen, who recently joined this table. He folds his king high. Candio calls. Heads up to the river. Skander way ahead. It's a deuce of spades. 4th spade on board. Neither player has a spade.
Candio was first drawn to poker while watching it on TV. Now he's on TV.
I'm all in.
And that big stack bet's enough to put Skander all in.
I gotta buy a yacht so I can catch these freaking rivers. Oh my
This
god.
decision is for Skander's main event. He knows if he calls and Candio has a flush, he's gone.
How much you got? No, I'm just kidding.
You hate to call off your chips.
6.
Skander folds his trips with no spade, and Candio shows his hand and takes the pot.
I can't risk it, I mean, with that freaking board.
I'm with him on that.
If you just pushed call every time instead of fold, you would have...
It's all in, I can't do that. I want to go out, just
Even though I think I have the best hand.
Unless Skander was 90% certain Condio was posturing, I say lay it down as he did and save your 20 big blinds.
Condio once a chip leader in this tournament, now in 4th place. Back to the feature table, action on another former chip leader, Theo Jorgensen. Jorgensen very subdued after giving up most of his stack to Soy Wen. He looks down at 5-4. He still doesn't think the table's very exciting. Corey Emery with pocket sixes.
He's a security guard from Simi Valley, California.
He calls for 100,000. Mizraki, 9-8 offsuit.
The 9 of diamonds is known as the Curse of Scotland, Lon. Don't know why. I'm not making that up.
Wow, I better be worried. I'm part Scottish. Mizraki called. Affleck in the big blind with pocket deuces. Checks his option.
Do you know what the deuce of diamonds is known as?
No.
The deuce of diamonds.
Oh, man, you had me worried. 3 players will see the flop for the minimum. It is Trey 6-7. Emery with a set of sixes. Mizraki picked up an up and down straight draw.
Check.
He checks it to Affleck, drawing very thin.
Well, here comes my boy with his 1% hand.
175,000. Into Emery with his set, and he just calls. Michael comes along as well.
Now, the big hand calls, the big draw calls.
Turn card is a 10, and Mizraki hits his straight to the 10. He checks. Affleck drawing dead. He checks.
My boy slows down, thank goodness. Emery's got to love this spot, but it could be his undoing.
He does bet 450,000.
You try to bet premium hands for value. If you're grinder here, you just don't move all in. You make a bet that's going to get called and win some chips.
Michael looking a little nervous as he check raises to $1,050,000.
Of course, here a grinder all in probably would get called by Emery.
Affleck folds.
I'm all in.
I call.
Emery all in, and a snap call from Mizraki to put Corey at risk.
And Corey Emery just ran into a cooler.
Michael Mizraki, 1 card from a knockout and a big pot, and that brings the Mizrakis to life.
Emery does have outs. He needs the board to pair, or Corey Emery will be gone.
River card does not pair the board. Corey Emery knocked out from this main event in 33rd place. He'll take home $255,000. Well done, Corey.
And a tough hand to end a great run for the amateur.
Grinder getting the high fives from the family. He's over $7 million again.
Get him, get him.
And that's got to worry everyone in the room. Now it's time for Deal Me In, brought to you by FullTiltPoker.net. While three-handed for the 2006 Horse Championship, Andy Block faced an interesting decision against Phil Ivey, who'd raised Block's 5-4 of diamonds with Ace-7.
This is a great hand to try and see a flop with. I don't think I'm a favorite here, but I think I got the right odds. Plus, my hand has a lot of possibilities. I called.
The flop is 7-3. Queen Block with a straight draw, a flush draw, and a straight flush draw.
I think the right play here, given the Ivy's action pre-flop, is to let him bet the flop, so I checked.
Ivy's going to bet 100,000.
I definitely felt like raising is the right play. I want to, try to get him off the hand right now. I decided to raise an amount that doesn't give away information. That I could have a pair, I could have a flush.
It's a raise of 400,000 more.
I'm all in.
Ivy moves all in.
Call.
Ivy made the good play with the A7 because I think he knew that unless I was completely bluffing, I was going to call.
Block looking for help, and he got it. Now our river card. It is a 6, and Phil Ivy has been knocked off by Andy Block.
Luckily for me, the coin landed on the right side.
Block considered one of the best to have not won a bracelet, a distinction he shared with Michael Mizraki until this year when Grinder won the Poker Players Championship. Michael back over $7 million where he started this day. Over to John Racner from Tampa, Florida with pocket jacks.
Racner very superstitious. He gets a room service bacon, egg, and cheese croissant every morning. He eats half of it, and when he takes the elevator to the Amazon room, even if the down button is already pushed, he pushes it again.
Racner raised it to $235,000. Thorson folds 10-8 to the Grinder, who also has 10-8.
We actually have several superstitious players left in the field, and I'm superstitious, Lon. For instance, I don't answer the phone if I know it's you.
Folded over to Dewey Lay in the big blind. Queen 10 of clubs.
Lay, another superstitious pro, same hoodie, same jeans, every day at the main event, and he eats a quesadilla every morning here and goes to the same Thai restaurant every night.
Eats a quesadilla in the morning? Lay calls, he'll go heads up with Racner. The flop is 9-8-5. Racner's jacks are still ahead, but are susceptible to danger. Lay picked up a gut shot.
Racner also gets a cranberry juice when he gets off the elevator. He should have had a V8.
Lay checked. Racner checks. Turn card now is a queen. Lay takes the lead. Racner with a gut shot to the case 10.
I hope Lay can still breathe behind there.
Lay checked it. Racner now. Oh, I think he still likes his pocket jacks. And he bets 345. Lay behind the mask. Gently puts out the call.
Yeah, Lay has a pulse. And Racner learning the folly of pocket jacks.
The river card is a tray. Lay with the check mark with those queens. And he checks again. Racner.
Racner now chewing on those pocket jacks.
Oh boy, Racner reaching for chips. And he is going to bet it again, 435.
He bets 1/3 of the pot.
Lay now with the best hand, spreads out a call. Racner turns over his pocket jacks, but they're second best to the queens of Dewey Lay. And the curse of pocket jacks strikes again, Norman.
Lay might enjoy his Thai dinner tonight. And Racner left with the other half of his bacon croissant.
John, once a chip leader here on day 7, is now down for the day, while Dewey Lay is up more than $2 million here on day 7. All right, let's get back out into the field. We find Scott Clements with a chance to knock out Eduardo Paris. Clements with a set of kings leading Paris and his pocket jacks and a gut shot as we go to the river.
Paris has to have a non-spade 10.
The river card is a tray of hearts, and Clements with his set of kings destroys the pocket jacks of Eduardo Paris and sends him home in 32nd place.
That's awesome. And now Scott Clements, one of the best players in this room, comfortably over chip average.
In 9th place, over to Michael Skinder, once again all in, but behind. Skinder's king, queen of diamonds, trailing Jason Sentai's pocket nines. Who can beat Sentai today?
King queen. Double up.
It would be a small double up. Skinder down to 5 big blinds.
All right, here's the flop now. Skinder at risk, and it's queen 6 tray. Skinder pairs his queen. He's a tough fish to fry.
Still in, guys. 2 cards away, still in.
All right, now the turn card is another tray. Skinder 1 card from a double up.
Don't worry about it.
Skinder just needs to dodge a 9 to double up and stick around.
And the river card is a 9. Sentai's long shot comes through and sends Michael Skinder to the rail.
Game over.
The German basketball pro takes the loss at the buzzer.
He had the misfortune of running into Jason Sentai, who was running so hot today here on day 7.
Hey, it was a pleasure, man.
Michael Skinder certainly left quite an impression on the 2010 main event. Now it's time to lace him up and get back to shooting hoops.
At Ultimate Bet, we constantly perfect and test our software to ensure it's the fastest, most advanced around. We consult with the best, so our tournament structure and player interface rock like no other. But there's one test that totally cleans up at the table. One test that truly defines the ultimate poker experience. Nice! Very nice!
The World Series of Poker, presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Main event.
Back at the Rio, just 30 players remain. Let's take a look at how some of the stacks are shaping up on the PokerStars.net chip count. Soy Win still leads. He's got some company with Joseph Chung, and what a run Jason Sentai's been on. At the bottom of the barrel, John Dolan, Hassan Habib, and the shortest stack, Johnny Lawton. For Sentai, who began the day as a short stack, all those chips have to be music to his ears, and music is something he knows a lot about.
My band, we're called Suburban Hero. Been playing in a band for the last 8 years. I play guitar and sing, and it's just a lot of fun. I guess we like to consider ourselves like melodic rock. We meet, once a week, practice for an hour or so, and then we play gigs, once a month. We were pushing hard to maybe try and make it a few years ago. We still would like to, have some more success.
I guess I put myself in a dumb spot there.
My poker career, it is tough on the band.
I won?
I I know they don't love it, but, you know, they understand this is what I do as a career now. It's not always easy for people to understand that if they don't understand poker and the variance involved. Each year I've left for 6 weeks, tell them, sorry, we can't take gigs, can't practice, and then I come back and they go, how'd you do? I lost a bunch of money. You know, because that's what's going to happen most years at the World Series. So I guess at least this year, hopefully I'll come back and they'll be like, well, now they finally understand why I'm going for it, I guess.
Jason was an electrical software engineer, but quit his job in 2007 because poker had become too lucrative.
Over now to our chip leader, Soy Nguyen. He's mixing it up with Rob Pisano. Pisano just bet $750,000 on the turn.
Nguyen has not quit his job. He still works for a medical supplies distributor, and he keeps frustrating the pros.
And on the paired board, he check raises to $2 million, and Pisano lays it down.
Nguyen, an amateur in his fourth live tournament, chip leader with 30 players left in the main event.
Pisano now below chip average with $5.5 million. Nguyen adds to his chip lead. He is now approaching $22 million. That's amazing. Over now to the guy right behind Nguyen on the leaderboard, Joseph Chung, who's in a hand with Scott Clements on a board of Queen 6-5 deuce. Chung bet $735,000. Clements called. 4 of diamonds on the river.
After calling Clements' pre-flop raise, Chung is let out on every street.
And it looks like he'll do so here. $1,675,000.
Clements, 2 bracelets in Omaha events, but he has become a very good hold'em player.
Clements with a lot of chips does make the call.
That's a crying call.
Chung says he has a straight, turns over 4 tray for a turn straight.
From 4 trays suited in the big blind to once again chip leader.
Scott has had a very good day 7, but he gives up over $3 million of that stack to Chung, who now sits atop the leaderboard with over $24 million.
Who are these people?
Back over to table 2, where short-stacked Johnny Lawton has moved all in with ace-5, called by Jonathan Duhamel, who's got the better kicker with ace-9.
Lawton down to 13 big blinds. Battle of the suited aces, battle of the hoodies.
All right, now, Lawton at risk. Here is the flop. It is deuce, queen. Duhamel's kicker gives him a slight edge.
Lawton can't argue with that flop. It gives him a decent chance of chopping this pot.
Turn card now is a 6. Duhamel, a 2-1 favorite now.
Half the deck, and they will split the pot. Ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 6, or deuce, and it's a chop. With a 5, Lawton wins. Otherwise, he's gone.
And there's a queen, and they'll chop it up with queens and deuces, and the ace kicker. Lawton will survive. No blood for Duhamel, who still is in 4th place.
Lawton has the sniffles, so he won't celebrate his chopped pot survival.
Lawton will get to keep his seat, and he's still in the running. Let's get back to the featured table and the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand.
I just started getting wild card hand tutoring from Mike Matiso.
Action on Johnny Lawton's buddy, William Thorson. He looks down at a king, and the ace of spades, the prettiest card in the deck.
I would marry that card, Lon, but I don't want to sign another prenup.
Thorson raises to $250,000 to Michael Mizrachi. And you're going to have to put yourself in a Mizrachi state of mind, Norman.
Well, we've seen so much of Grinder, Lon. I should know how he plays by now.
Grinder in the cutoff seat makes the call.
I'll put him on a weaker ace, ace 10 or ace 9. And I just read Robert's lips. He's also putting Grinder on an ace 10 or ace 9.
All right, don't go heads up against Thorson.
What are you playing?
Ask him how much he's playing.
Around 7, too. 7? Like 6.8.
Pretty even stacks. Here's the flop, ace 10, 9. Thorson with top pair, top kicker. How about Grinder?
We'll see.
Thorson checks.
Good flop for Thorson, but he does check it. Then I obviously think Grinder has aces and 10s or aces or 9s. How stupid do I look?
Michael bets $400,000. Thorson's going to come along.
Thorson thought about raising there. You know, I love getting tutored by Mike DeMouth. He's such a gentle instructor.
Turn card, 8 of hearts. Thorson, first to act with top pair. He checks.
Thorson playing this one passively out of position.
Michael checks.
Grinder might be stutter stepping there with aces up, hoping Thorson takes a stab at the pot on the river.
River card is another 10.
If Grinder had the ace 10, he's got a full house. If he's got ace 9, Thorson now has him outkicked.
Thorson with aces up does bet at $875.
Thorson's not posturing. He thinks he has the best hand.
Raise.
What did I tell you? If he's raising, Grinder might have 10s full of aces. We've seen Grinder bluff the river when he misses his draw, but we haven't seen him bluff raise. I think he's got the goods.
Michael makes it $2.3 million.
I just read Robert's lips again. He said my stinking little brother has tens full.
So back to Thorson now.
Thorson's been going in reverse lately.
What do you got there? Huh? What do you have?
What do you have?
Something nice. 2 nice cards. You have 2 nice cards too?
I've got to write down this dialogue.
It's got potential.
Good potential. Okay, I fold.
That convinces Thorson to fold.
I think that's another good read by Thorson.
William shows his hand. Will Michael reciprocate? Thorson gets a peek. Grinder shows pocket nines for a rivered boat. You were partially right, Norman. Michael wins the Jack Link's Beef Jerky wild card hand.
I got to make him feel a little better. I don't want to be tilted.
Well, I work with Mattisel already paying dividends. Maybe I'll hire him as my life coach.
Thorson, the former chip leader, under 5 million. The Grinder now has cracked the top 10 with over 9 million chips.
The most prestigious prize in poker, the bracelets. Presented by the official WSOP game on Facebook. Play online now.
Over 2,300 players descended upon the Rio for Event 8, the $1,500 no-limit hold'em tournament. Among them, everyone's favorite poker brat, Phil Hellmuth, whose 15th place finish extended his record of all-time World Series cashes to 76.
Should have seen how bad they played against me.
The final table consisted of 9 players, all hoping for their first bracelet. In the end, Pascal Lafrancois outlasted 21-year-old Max Steinberg from Iowa to take down the title and take home nearly $600,000. Out in the field, new bracelet winner Lafrancois with pocket eights, about to see a flop against Bryn Kenny's King Jack, and there's an 8 for a set for Lafrancois. Pascal checks. Kenny with King High. Bets $400,000.
Kenny getting short-stacked postures.
Lafrancois loves to see that and just makes the call.
By the way, when Lafrancois won his bracelet, he went shirtless for the winner's photo at the table.
That king pairs Kenny, but Lafrancois earns the check mark, and he checks again.
Kenny now can bet with a hand, a pair of kings. Of course, he's drawn dead.
And with that top pair, bets $480,000. Lafrancois just calls again.
Just another smooth call. I hope he keeps his shirt on.
The river card now. Oh, and that's a nasty jack. King's up for Kenny, which of course is no good. Lafrancois checks again. $1,300,000 from Kenny. Lafrancois calls immediately. And he'll take that 5 million chip pot. Lafrancois approaching 15 million.
Worst case scenario for Kenny, he hit good cards while drawing dead, and now he's crippled.
Meanwhile, a terrific day 7 for Lafrancois.
I'm just happy he keeps the hoodie on.
He's in 3rd place now. All right, let's get back over to table 2. Patrick Skander, with a flopped pair of 10s and a straight draw, is leading the pocket 5s of Mads Vissing after the turn. Vissing just bet $700,000 into Skander.
What the hell?
And he makes the call.
Bad attitude.
Taking it every time.
River card now, tray of diamonds.
There's your flush.
I don't have a flush.
Skander does have the check mark with 10s.
Unfreaking believable. Every time.
If you think negative thoughts, negative stuff usually happens.
600.
Skander does bet $600,000.
I don't get that. He whines and then he bets?
Vissing is perplexed.
The speech, the pain, yeah.
You're gonna freaking go on top of that. I know how you play.
You kidding me? I would fold a set in this, bud.
Vissing lays down.
Look at flush, everybody.
No flush.
Well, it was a value bet bluff with the best hand, so it turns out Skander was Hollywooding it with the moaning, pretending to have a better hand than he did.
Skander up over 8 million as we go back to the featured table where Grinder has also been on the upswing. You see on the chip chart, it's been a rocky road for him. At one point, he was down to $1.5 million.
But they don't call him Grinder for nothing. He chipped away and chipped away, recently won 2 big pots, and now finds himself in the top 10. By the way, this chart also reflects my current marriage.
Grinder once again a bigger factor in this main event. He's over chip average. The same cannot be said for Jorgensen, who has not recovered from that big hit.
Are you planning to take a break from poker after this tournament?
I can't see myself ever play poker again after this.
I mean, like, after this?
What? I don't even know if I make it to the finals whether I'm going to play it or not.
That would be a novelty, skipping the November 9.
Action on Theo Jorgensen. Ace-king off.
Jorgensen used to be a blackjack, roulette, and poker dealer. Maybe he's just tired of gambling.
He does raise it to $250,000 from under the gun to Racner with ace-queen.
I wonder if Racner's been chewing the same piece of gum for 7 days.
He makes the call. William Thorson now looks down at pocket deuces.
I don't think Thorson ever gets tired of gambling, though he says he doesn't want to spend his entire life day in and day out playing cards.
And he will make the call with the smallest pocket pair. Mizrachi on the button with 10-4. And he'll check out. Now in the big blind, Dewey Lay. He's got a 9 of clubs and a 10 of diamonds.
I don't think Lay can resist putting 150,000 chips into a pot that's already $1 million.
3 players in before him. He's got the right odds. He makes the call.
They're here to gamble, Lon.
4 players. Jorgensen favored with his ace-king. Here's the flop. It is 4-6 ace, all clubs. Jorgensen with top pair, top kicker. Racner with the best club draw. Lay checks his inferior club draw. And now Jorgensen bets $1 million. Racner raises to $2 million.
Racner with a min raise.
Thorson and Lay fold.
All in.
Theo re-raises.
I call.
And Racner calls to put him at risk.
I might be drawing dead.
Jorgensen actually the favorite, but he's in a precarious position. He started day 7 as the chip leader. Now he's at risk.
God, I would have loved to have the king of clubs there.
Turn card now is a queen of hearts. Racner takes the lead with aces up.
Racner should blow himself a bubble. He is poised for the knockout.
Theo seems resigned to his apparent fate.
Jorgensen will need a non-club king, or the one-time chip leader is wamboozled.
It's a 9 on the river. Racner wins the hand. Theo Jorgensen knocked out of the main event.
We just heard him talking about how he might not show up at the final table. Well, he doesn't have to worry about that now.
The Danish pro who danced his way into our hearts as chip leader goes out meekly here on day 7.
It was fun to watch him play.
He wins over $255,000. John Racner now up to over 9.8 million chips. We're just 2 players away from the final 27.
Playing poker, playing hockey, it's the same deal. It's about challenging your opponents, learning to make the right move at the right time. With over 10 million players, more tables, and more tournaments at every level than anyone else, learn for free at the world's largest poker site, PokerStars.com, and find the PokerStar in you.
Back inside the Rio, the outer tables have just lost another player. Gianni DiRenzo is our 29th place finisher. He will take home over $255,000. He handed all his chips over to Rob Pisano, who is now back over $8 million.
Pisano, another former chip leader.
We're just 1 player away from the final 27 and the end of day 7. The chip average right now, $7.8 million.
Woo, 1 more, guys. Finish his day on.
Maybe he'll change sweatshirts. And Matt Affleck will have to find another Seattle jersey to wear. He's run out of them.
On the Jack Link's Beef Jerky Pocket Cam, Matt with 8-7 of spades.
He might run out of jerseys, but he never runs out of gamble.
He's not running out of chips so far this year. A raise to $275,000.
Matt gets feisty under the gun with suited connectors.
The blind's up to 60 and $120,000. Thorson folded. Grinder with 10-6 of clubs.
It's been the year of the Mizrachis, and Michael trying to make it the year of the Grinder.
From the big blind, Michael makes the call. He'll go heads up with Matt Affleck. And here is the flop. It is deuce 7. Deuce Affleck with 7s and deuces. Mizrachi first to act. He missed that, and he checks. Matt checks.
Sweet kid, sweet check.
Turn card is another 7. Affleck with the check mark. He improves to 7s full. Michael picked up a flush draw. And he's got chips in hand. $330,000.
Deja vu all over again. Grinder picks up a draw on the turn and bets it.
Any grinder action has the family on edge. Affleck with the best hand. Raises to 930.
That raise.
Michael's going to re-raise it. 1,630,000.
Grinder with a misstep here. He sensed Affleck was making a move, so he has 3 bet it drawn dead.
Affleck with the call.
And you know, if a club comes on the river, Grinder's main event could be over.
The river card is not a club, and that might save Grinder. Mizrachi, once again, with his missed flush now, bets 920.
Deja vu all over again. Again, Grinder misses his draw, bets the river. He's addicted to that move.
Oh, Matt calls.
Just a call?
Raising 7? Yeah.
And that's a 5.8 million chip pot for Matt.
You go, Matt. And the Mizrachi temporary housing complex is silenced.
Grinder gave up nearly 3 million chips, down below chip average again. Matt Affleck up to over 12 million. That puts him in 6th place.
I am so proud of him.
Let's head back to table 2 once again, because Johnny Lawden is once again all in and once again trailing Jonathan Duhamel. Lawden's ace-jack coming up short against the ace-king of Duhamel. Lawden needs some help.
Lawden only 11 big blinds left, and once again he has the weaker ace than Duhamel.
All right, Lawden at risk. Here's the flop. It is Queen 6-6 Duhamel with his ace-king. Keeps Lawden in need.
How are you going to chop this?
This one not likely to be chopped, and Lawden in trouble.
The turn card now. That's a queen, and that does open the door to a chop.
Well, now it's almost certain to be chopped.
As I say that.
Only an ace or a king would knock out Johnny Lawden.
Lawden awaiting his fate on the river. It is a 10, and Lawden will survive with a chop pot again.
There's a chop pot. Why don't these two just tie the knot? There's a wedding chapel everywhere you look here. Duhamel cannot rid himself of Johnny Lawden, so just make him an honest man.
Lawden's still a very short stack with 1.6 million. Out in the field, 2 others we can't separate. One who may be our 28th place finisher, Bryn Kinney, all in with deuces, called by Pascal Lefrancois with pocket aces.
So Kenny at risk of going out and getting us down to our final 27.
Kenny the underdog in this Bambi and Godzilla battle of pocket pairs. Here's the flop. It is 6-4 ace. Lefrancois hits a set.
Boy, day 7 is darkened in a hurry for Bryn Kenny. Only running cards will save him now.
Turn card 9 of clubs, and that will end it. Lefrancois takes the hand. Kenny drawing dead and is our 28th place finisher.
Bryn Kenny is out, and Pascal Lefrancois is on a roll.
A good payday for Kenny. Lefrancois now with almost 16 million, and everyone knows we're down to our final 3 tables.
Down to the final 27 line, and what a journey it's been.
A well-deserved celebration at the end of the night, but still a lot of poker to be played. 7,319 began, now just 27 remain.
Day 8, baby, day 8.
Day 7 had several chip leaders, but right now Joseph Chong is the one that tops them all.
We never dreamed about winning this tournament, so just a little step closer.
Friends William Thorson and Johnny Lawden carry on, as do Jason Sentai and Ben Stotts.
I'm using my one time right now. One time.
4 bracelet winners are still in the running for the ultimate bracelet. Among them, Michael Mizrachi, whose remarkable World Series keeps going.
Get him! Get him!
Next time, it's day 8. Until then, for Norman Chat, I'm Lon McCarran. Thanks for watching the World Series of Poker.